go ahead and let's tell me something good. Tell me something good. What good happened in your businesses this week? Any wins? Oh,
Got a listing for distressed property, so they're doing a cash offer, but it's in San Diego. So it's a little bit unusual, but gotta help relatives wherever they're at.
there you go. Love it. That's a good. That's a tell me something good. All right. What else? Who else has something?
I just got a drone today.
Drone.
It's exciting. Just
Okay. Oh, congratulations on your drone. Val, you have anything you want to share? Open 3 escrows. So guys, has anybody felt like the market kind of heat up in the last 6-7 days? Felt the market heat up. It's like all of a sudden with the warmer weather, the market is heating up as well. You got anything you want to share? Some goods?
I had one kind of unrelated to the group, but I had a cash out refinance that was $1 million that just took forever to close with property complications and fire documents and liens and stuff that finally closed.
Congratulations.
The wait left.
Oh my gosh. You can cruise into the fourth and be happy. Wow. Cash out refi for $1 million. Push that. Guys, come on, grab a seat. We got tons of comfy chairs. Oh, it's just Haley Reserve.
We got something down.
What do you got?
Yeah, sit down, you guys.
Go ahead.
4 bills like shares, but like I just booked the state fair. Maybe DJing or like
Yay, congratulations, DJing in the state fair.
And what's your name and what do you do?
Lindsey Brown, the 200.
Lindsey Brown, 2 men in a truck.
What?
Great. 2 men. 2 men in a truck.
Property.
It's a moving company. Yeah, she does DJ on the side. What this has to do with real estate, I think, but we're gonna have some fun. All right, so coming up, we have some upcoming events. Let's roll into those. Oh, Carmen just recently joined Made for More Realty, so that's when she came from Ellsbrook, but she's not here. Moving on. Lead and succeed. So this is somebody Brent came to me personally, like, Johnny, you have to have April speak. She's got some great information on what the agents to have. So she's gonna be presenting on July 10th. So next week when we get back from the 4th. And then let's move through this quick. I think Brent's gonna be here too at some point. So want to save time for Brent. And then Buyer Mastery. So July 17th, Cole Whitney. He had Montezuma's Revenge. If you guys didn't remember, he was supposed to speak earlier. We did a top producer panel. He's coming back. He's gonna be here both at PCAR, and he's going to present on the Folsom side, on 50 side. So we're going to be doing 2 events, same as Wendy did last month. So it's going to be he's going to teach us how to work with buyers. I don't know exactly what he's going to cover, but actually I've been learning a strategy that turns buyers into the same amount of money and less effort as sellers. So we've always heard list to last. I'm not saying that has changed, but now I'm like, yeah, I want some buyers because we figured out a way to work with them. And so Colton's going to teach us how to do that. Moving on. Swing for the Kids, best golf tournament all year long. There we go. There's Frank. Frank, do you want to share anything about it, or? Come on, Frank. So this is Frank's golf tournament. He's been doing it. What is this? You mean the 11th? 11th year we've been doing this. So was your not a golf tournament guy. I don't golf.
Pardon me.
This is one I attend.
Yeah,
you're ready. You're ready. There you go.
Thank you. I know you've been seeing this flyer every week. This is something near and dear to my heart because it benefits the Shriners Children's Hospital. And the reason I did it is because I saw that commercial. You guys know the commercial with Caleb, the guy that's had 222 surgeries and he was only 10. Breaks my heart, but this is what I did. It's really kind of grown into its own pretty awesome function. I got some great people that put it on. Shriners have volunteers, and I try to get everybody out by 4 o'clock. Have you ever went to golf tournaments and you're there till 7, 8 at night?
Yeah.
It's tiring. So if you cannot play golf, it doesn't matter. Just come and volunteer. And if you do like golf, you're in a scramble tournament. It's just a fun part.
Can't hear you.
And if you guys want any information, contact me, ask Johnny, he's got my number. And I'd love to see everybody out there, but I really like some volunteers. You're gonna have a great time. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you, Frank. Glad you're here. All right, and then, is there anything else, AJ? All right, we're coming up to our lender minute. So JJ, he doesn't really work for a living anymore. You know, he's up in Truckee. And so where's Lindsay? Lindsay, no, he works really hard. I'm just teasing him. But Lindsay is here in his stead. She's the brains behind the operation anyway. So hey, what's happening in the wonderful world of lending?
Hi, guys. Good to see you. Good morning. I'm Lindsay. I'm the production manager for the JJ Mac team. So if you work with your team, you'll certainly be working with me throughout that process, as well as JJ, but I'm kind of the boots on the ground, talking to you and your clients. There's a lot of people's faces in the room that I haven't met before. So love the opportunity to connect with you guys. I want to just kind of share a stat. JJ's a big stats guy when he comes in here. But share a stat that he shared yesterday, and then a kind of a story of how we're able to be a resource to you guys and your clients. So we had our division call yesterday, and year over year, the amount of non-QM products has increased by 40% in the market, meaning that from last year, 40% more of those loans have been products that are not your standard conventional FHA VA, meaning that people are looking for creative financing. And we have a lot of options. I got a call from someone on your guys' team yesterday and said, I met this couple in an open house over the weekend. They already have an agent, so they're not going to use me, but they were talking about trying to figure out how to buy a new property before they sold 2 homes. And so I had a great conversation with her and went over some options. We have 3 or 4 different options to be able to do that. Ultimately, she's like, I think, ideally I want to just sell my houses and leave them on the market, or, leave them on the market, get them sold, and then buy when we're ready. But she said, I'm going to save your number because it's great to know that I have you in my back pocket if the situation comes up and we find a house that we just can't live without and we have to try to buy something before we sell. And I thought that was kind of it kind of brought it all together that, we're here for you guys as a resource. If we work with you all the time, then you probably know and love us. If we haven't worked with you yet, know that we're here and available for you guys. If you come across those situations where something is going wrong, you need creative financing options, the box for just a conventional or FHA or VA loan for your clients is not working. We have a ton of products and options to be able to assist you guys and at least run scenarios by us to see what can be done to give your clients the most access to being able to purchase as possible. Anything else we're looking for an update on today?
Yeah, our interest rates look.
Yeah, so metro rates, we've seen a little bit of a downward trend over the last few weeks. Conventionals hanging out in the kind of mid to upper 6% range. They've come down out of the high 6% range. FHA in the low 6% range. So certainly starting to see a little bit about betterment in the market. It's been green more often than it's been red, which has been nice. So it seems like that's enough movement for people to also start getting off and entering the market again. So I would be happy to run a scenario for you, specific pricing for a client if you had someone in mind. All
All right, real quick. So just some quick programs that you guys do. You guys do bank statement loans. You guys, so if you have any like business owners, self-employed people that maybe can't.
Yeah, so some of what those non-QM products look like, DSCR loans for investors to purchase with just a mortgage to rent ratio, not needing to consider their personal income for qualifying. Bank statement loans, so if they're self-employed, we can use an average of deposits instead of your tax returns if you write everything off. 1099 income, all sorts of kind of outside of the box qualifying. Do mobile home loans too. I know it's not very exciting, but those do pop up.
Buy before you sell.
Buy before you sell
sell,
without
big
the
one.
without the points, right? Like,
Yep.
has anybody ever
there's-
used HomeLight or heard of HomeLight doing the buy before you sell? Right, it's expensive compared to what they're able to provide.
Yeah, the bridge loans, kind of a buy before you sell option, but those are expensive and they get tricky to qualify for with multiple mortgages. But we also have some options where you can pull the equity out of your house and purchase without needing to factor in the mortgage of your departing residence. It helps people qualify a lot better.
Question,
Yes.
what's the difference in rate, for like, say, standard, conventional versus the bank statement?
Yeah, so those are probably gonna be about 1% on the adjustment.
Not the DSCRs, right?
No, DSCRs tend to be less than that. That's probably more like between 1/4.5% adjustment, on the DSCR rates from base rates, so. Not terrible, and of course, you know, that doesn't work for everyone in every situation, but knowing you have options, we'll go through and lay those out for them side by side so that they can decide what would work best for them and then make a decision from there, but at least they know have possibilities.
What's the best way for us to get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can reach our team, have it up here, the 916-517-1800 number. You can text, call that number or email us, our team email, and that reaches all of us. So JJ, myself, our assistants and processing team, so.
Awesome.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Lindsay. All right. One other thing, I'm surprised more people don't use this tool. If you're on a team and you have an ISA department, you have people that are helping with you, okay, I get it, you may not need it. But if you don't have an ISA department, if following up is a struggle for you after open houses or the leads, they will actually call your leads. Then they'll work the leads for you, and then once they have somebody that's ready to go, they'll let you know, and you guys can close more deals. All right, and then the last thing, as far as there's no meeting tomorrow, right? You're not doing.
Yeah, so tomorrow for the 4th of July, the Bold Trail Academy is gonna take a day off. But you have homework. You do have homework from last week. Last week, I showed you guys how to create a lead capture page for all of your listings. So when you list a property, I showed you how to create a landing page that has lead capture. And I think I had about 45 people on that call, either in the room or here. And my challenge to everybody was to create it and then email it to me. As of right now, I haven't received a single one. So we're taking the week off, but if you go to my YouTube channel, you go to Bold Trail Academy on YouTube, you can find that video from last week under open houses, and Aaron's talking about open houses here today. And I show you how to create that lead capture landing page for all of your listings. So we're gonna take the week off, but you still have homework.
Awesome, love it. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, all right. All right, guys. Well, hey, the man that we have speaking to us today is driven all the way over from the other side of the world, aka Highway 50. And he's taking time out of his busy day to come and present to us. He's a lover of cigars, so we got him a cigar. And so everybody, please welcome to the front of the room, Mr. Aaron Ralls. He flew in just for you. Said he wouldn't miss it.
Thank you. Has no woman so far has said that at all. All the guys are like, dude, that thing's sick. Every chick's like, you need to get rid of that. Or woman, sorry. Hey, thank you for this.
You're welcome.
And this still's working?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, hello, I've been in real estate for about 9 years. I'm just gonna give you guys some of my tips and tricks that have helped me go from doing no deals to what my goal is now is over $100,000 a month. So most of the people in here aren't in my downline, no affiliation with me whatsoever. I'm strictly here to show you guys some of the things that I've done that has helped increase my business. But before I get started, how much time do I have?
45 minutes.
Oh, okay, we won't need that long. On the way over here, you guys won't believe what happened. Just a quick story. So I was getting gas on the way here. I used to own a barbershop in Folsom, and right across from the barbershop's a gas station. So it's the one I always go to. You know how you'll see cops where they're talking like this and they're talking to each other through the windows? So that's what happened as I'm getting gas. I'm going inside because the card thing wasn't working. And as I was going in, I noticed a woman smoking while she was pumping gas. So I thought, dang, that's a little sketchy, right? So as I'm coming out, she's screaming and yelling. Her entire arm was on fire. This is this morning on the way here. Her entire arm is on fire. Cops get out. One of them had one of the big gulps on top of his thing, threw it on her, patted it down, screaming, yelling. Everyone's chaotic. Well, because I owned the busy barbershop in town for so long, I saw the guys and I'm like, dude, he goes, did you see that? And I go, yeah, I thought it was weird. She was smoking. And he goes, after they put it out, by the way, they handcuff her, put it in the back of the car. And I'm like, dang, that's kind of hardcore, right? So I asked him, I said, well, I see what happened, but why'd you guys handcuff her? He said, we had no choice. She was waving a firearm in public. That's the last one. First and last. I was like, that wasn't the scene. Yeah. Okay. So I took a little notes prior to this at the cigar lounge, and one of the notes I took is, if I can do it at this level, head to toe covered in tattoos with this stupid thing on my face, you guys can do it. So number one, set your goals higher. Most agents, when I talk to it, oh, what's your goal for the year? I want to make 50 grand. 50 grand in a year. I want to make 50 grand this week, and we can do it. There's no ceiling to what we're able to do. So the open houses really kickstarted my success. And last I heard, I'm creeping right on being top 25 in the Tri-County area now. So, and that's with 0 lead spend. No leads. So one of the notes I had.
Come on, you guys. Come on. You guys in the back there. I want to hear you guys. Come on, let's hear it from there. Yeah. What the heck? I was off for 1 month and this is what we can do better than this. I'm watching. You guys, it is. Go ahead.
So another note I took is that amateurs listen to their feelings, pros don't. I get up, I go to the gym 6 days a week. I see Albert in there 6 days a week. Jimmy's in there. David obviously isn't missing. Certain things, open houses are like that for me. I'll do 3, 4 every week. Other than on my team, I constantly try to give people opportunities so they can build their business. I figure I'm at a level of success. I'm like the chief of my tribe. I want to make sure my tribe eats. So I keep giving these opportunities. Well, then what happens is, oh, we did one last week. It didn't work. Nobody came in. I don't want to do it. I'm going to Tahoe. I'm this, that. Excuses to not do it. So guess what happens? I tell my wife, hey, we don't have anybody for open houses. You're going over there. I'm going to do this one. Hour break in between. I'll go jump on the other one. And then we make another 30 grand, you know, whatever it is, just from doing these open houses and the exposure. And to me, it's frustrating because that's the only time in our business where our clients are coming to us. There's no other time. No one's going to knock on your door at home or my buddy Steve Hurd works out at the gym at his house. I go, Steve, how many people you meet there? No one. I go, I know, go join a gym. Start talking. I talk to everybody at the gym, you know, and I'm always wearing Ralls Realty Group t-shirts everywhere I go. So it's very important to put yourself in a spot where you're going to meet potential clients. Open houses are the only time they're walking in. So unless you guys have any other ideas, to me, it's continuously been a amazing source of referrals, of money. I mean, it's just a next level. One of the guys that I work with came by one of my open houses. He came by to shadow me, which I don't really like because I feel like it does throw off the synergy when you're connecting with people, especially if you got 2 or 3 guys there, you know, to me, it's not a good deal. Cause like sometimes Albert, you know, he's the lender I use a lot. Him and I are there. Yeah, this ain't a good look for all these people showing up. But anyways, he came by and he was going through the thing. And I'm sitting around the couch. This is it's pending now. It's a $1.9 million home in El Dorado Hills. And Keith had came by and we're sitting there and there was 3 of them, East Indian. We're sitting around a table around the couch in the family room, just talking. And I have music going in the background and he had been coming from the hallway and stopped in the hallway and he heard everything. And the entire time I was talking to them, he thought I'd already known them. He thought it was a group that came in that I already knew that I was just like BSing with until I closed them at the end with how I closed out. He goes, oh my gosh, I've never heard anything like that. Like it was so natural. I thought you'd already know those people. I was, no, dude, I met them 5-10 minutes before you walked in. So that's kind of the vibe I try to always keep when I'm doing my open houses. Jose, were you able to do that? Can you put that up real quick? Just to get everybody to pay attention as much as possible. If you are doing open houses, if you don't do open houses, then none of it matters unless you want to pass along the info to a friend. This was a text I got a couple weeks ago from doing the same thing at one of my offices out in the Fair Oaks area.
He's a good guy. I like him.
So nice. Oh,
Yeah, he
right.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
But how nice to
Yeah.
even send that.
Yeah.
But here we go, $1.1 million deal, just from the little things I told them. Okay, so let's get into it. Oh, by the way, we'll pass these around. You guys can see, this is just some of in addition to the flyers, I have several, maybe 10 stacks of each one of these at every house I go to. You guys can kind of see if you like what it looks like afterwards. take pictures of it, rip off, duplicate, do whatever you want with it. Okay, I started it with operate with integrity because how many times have we heard in the real estate game that open houses are just to get more clients? Right? Open house, you're just there to get clients, you're just there to get clients. No, you're not. Someone's paying you a ton of money to sell their home. So when I go into it, I go in with it with the very intentional attitude of selling the home. If John's paying me $35,000 to sell his house and he knows that I'm there just trying to get clients for myself, he's not gonna like that. And people feel under that. They do send their friends, they do send their neighbors. So you're being spied on when you do open house. It happens all the time. Where people tell me, oh yeah, my girlfriend came in, was the one with the pink dress talking to you. I'm like, oh, so you never know. So operate with integrity. Say what you mean what you say. If I'm telling someone I'm going to do a listing, by the way, when I do take a listing, I always run ads on Instagram and Facebook and I direct target buyers. So they love hearing that. Now I'm with EXP Luxury as well. So now I'm able to syndicate my luxury listings on a global platform. So that's all huge. Ethical decision making is one of the things I put on there, you know, which also comes down to doing what's right for your client. It's been coming out a lot lately, and the text messages are going around, screenshots are going around of agents giving referral fees to people that aren't agents and things like that. I mean, that's how you get in trouble in this game. So if you're doing that, don't put it in writing, because I know several people that are about to get in trouble going that route right now. Accountability at all times. Obviously, you want to be honest in everything we do. There's nothing in this game worth lying about, because you'll lose your license, your reputation, etc. I'm in the middle of one right now, and we'll be going to arbitration, I'm sure, if they don't come to terms. I did a video on my social media yesterday. On Instagram, it's at Aaron Ralls Realtor. You guys can see it. Sold a house for $1 million. They didn't disclose water damage. My clients got permits. They're doing a big remodel. Whole beam rotted out. So far it's about 18 grand. So very easy to disclose and stay out of trouble when it comes to that. So whenever my clients are disclosing things, I always say, here, David, fill this out. This is your stay out of court paperwork. Over disclose is my mantra when it comes to that. Hold yourself to high standards. One of the things I started implementing with my listings is calling on Fridays with an update. Just calling something as easy as, hey, Janelle, just to let you know, we haven't had any calls. Right now, a lot of stuff. Sorry, no calls, no showing requests. Go ahead, next one, Jose, please. As I'm going to do the property, sometimes I'll do the ones that aren't my own. So I do study the home, know the neighborhood, know as much as I can to help. Branded signs. I've got a bunch of these type of signs here. So that's kind of what mine look like. They're big, they're heavy. I have some of the other cheaper ones. They just blow over all the time. So I spent the money, got the bigger, heavier duty ones. And I have a ton of them. And I always buy a lot of signs and lock boxes because people want to borrow them. And when it comes to branded signs, I'm like, sure, you can borrow my signs. Dude, you're everywhere. Yeah, I'm not really. Kyle just doesn't have any signs. So he's using
What are
mine.
those run?
Yeah, any guesses on what this costs? Per
Yeah, 200. Probably 85.
80 plus 80.
very on the money, 85. I didn't think it was bad.
Was that for?
For a big heavy duty one?
How many do you recommend?
No, all of it.
Really?
Yeah, Belinda sign shop.
How many do you recommend? Buy it. At least.
So I like having a stable. I have like 15, but boy, do I hate putting them out. I'm often only putting out 6 or 8. You know, 8 is a lot for me, but it does work. People that put more out, obviously better results. I know you did a ton back when
Not
you were
many, just like 30.
yeah. So
And that holds it flat.
yeah. Yeah, so the more the better when it comes to the signs, obviously. I study a lot on YouTube and podcasts and everything. A lot of the pros now are saying with everything being so digital and with mapping, 1 sign, 2 signs. I don't know. I still like the signs.
Oh, they're little mini, the way you have it done with your name on it, it's a little mini billboard, but you're sticking
Yeah.
it there. Why wouldn't you want to have 15 billboards?
Yeah.
You know, you hit the nail on the head, it just, you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So.
And by the way, just because this happens too, it happened to one of my guys. He's not here today, but these HOAs, I think it's okay to like take anybody had their signs taken.
Yeah.
That's
Doing personal
it's
property.
literally illegal. I retired out of law enforcement. They're not allowed to do that. It's illegal. What they should be doing is calling you, not they just threw all my guys' signs in a dumpster. He's a newer agent, you know, he can barely afford the signs. They threw them in a dumpster. So that happened to me once too. They're not allowed to do that. But be aware of the rules. Toronto's very strict. You got to schedule everything. They allow one unless you have written permission from everybody. But know your rights too. Don't get punked out when you're just trying to work, you know, shouldn't be taken. Arrive early. I always show up early because a lot of times on the hot properties, as we know, there'll be 3 groups out front waiting. So I get there early. I want to get there. Go ahead, Jose. I want to get there ahead of time so I can turn on all the lights. I always bring a speaker. I should have brought one in today just to have an example. My open houses are never like dull and awkward. You know how they're awkward and you can hear like people talking and chewing their gum. Nobody likes that. You have enough music where you have a good atmosphere, a good vibe, and they're able to talk without you hearing every word they say.
Yeah.
The other thing when I do open houses, I've done them before with other lenders. I popped in on some of my agents. You will never catch me sitting down watching the football game. So when I do an open house, it's there with the direct intention of selling the home, and I am very attentive. It's like if you go into Nordstrom's, you're not going to catch someone in the shoe department sitting down watching TV because they're on the clock. That's our clock. So I go in there with the intention of selling the home, and if I can't sell it, to bring enough value to the people that come in where they then use me as their agent. So lights, you know, fountains, waterfalls on the pool, all that helps sell. Upbeat music. Go ahead, Jose. Thank you.
Can I add stuff?
Yeah.
I feel like just greeting people at the door, welcoming them in and making them feel like that's, you know, I mean, it could be their home.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, hey, welcome to your house
Yep.
or your, you know, because your house are just welcome. Here's the flyer.
I
So
think
glad
that's the
you
next
came.
slide, Janelle. Thank you. We're ruining the shock and awe. Yeah, but that's exactly how I do it too.
People love it.
Yeah. I'm always real positive, upbeat, you know, kind of like Brent, when he does a meeting, he's always like borderline nuts, right? So I'm not that high level, but I'm pretty high level.
There's no borderline.
The professional flyers, and my marketing material that's going around that you guys see, that's kind of what I have laid out, including one with my lender right now, especially with rates being high. Came up with a good program where he's buying the rate down 1% out of his commission. So that's really been the glue helping throw a lot of deals together recently. And be a knowledgeable resource. When I first got into real estate, I felt like I cast a big net. I was marketing to Roseville and Rockland, and I wanted to be everywhere. Man, that's very expensive and not the way to go, in my opinion. Yes.
Is he usually always at your open houses with you or no?
I try not to have them with me just because I don't think it's good optics.
Too much masculinity.
Yeah,
Little people.
too many tattoos in one room. You're a female lender, I'll do one with you. Yeah, my wife, the gals on my team, I like having, you know, Albert shows up to a lot of our stuff. And one thing we started doing with the gals on my team, whenever I'm inputting people in open houses, and you don't only have to be on my team, by the way, if you are looking for open houses, please text me anytime. We usually have properties available, especially if you're doing video content. I've got some gorgeous ones right now that are $1.5 million vacant, staged, gorgeous. So feel free.
If you guys did you go do content too? I have my big one, my $4 million one, and I've had lots of agents reach out and film content. I'm like, I don't care why you wear it.
It's crazy how many agents say no to that.
I know.
And by the way, anything and everything I do, you do not have to put listing provided courtesy of. Take it, make it look like it's yours. I don't care. I want to sell the property. So if it helps you build your business and your friends go, oh my gosh, girl, you're killing it. You got that one in Serrano? Like, yeah, the market's been picking up, you know, whatever. Do whatever you got to do. Just take it and use it. I don't care.
Love that attitude.
Be a knowledgeable resource because I stopped casting my net so big and I'm just staying where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm real knowledgeable now. Folsom, El Dorado Hills, been in Folsom since '88, been in El Dorado Hills, living there for the last 4. So I know the area very well. Go ahead, Jose. Thank you. Janelle, welcome each visitor. So pretty much how I do it. Yeah. So pretty much how I do it, as soon as I come up, I have the flyer and I'll walk up, say, hey, how you guys doing? My name's Aaron. I'm the listing agent. Oh, my name's David. My name's Jimmy. Cool. Then I actually make it a point oh, it's not on here yet, but I actually make it a point to remember their name. Oh yeah, here it is. To remember their names. So I have these books. I love the title reps when they give me all these different types of books. I have them everywhere. I got them in my bag, my car, my truck, too many places according to my wife, but I have them everywhere because I use them for notes and I'll say David hat backwards, tan shirt or whatever, Jimmy black t-shirt. That way, if that open house is busy before they leave, I'm going to communicate with them again, but I'm going to use their names when I do it. And I picked that up. Number one, little backstory, I retired from the Department of Corrections. I was a sergeant out there. So in the prison, you had to get real good with names and nicknames and gangs and everything that goes with it. Then I opened a barber shop. It was real busy. We'd have 8 barbers, 3-hour waits every day, and had to get real good with names there too. What's up, Barry? What's up, Joey? As people came in, yeah.
Another trick just coming from a previous server for a very long time. If you say your name again at the end, it helps them remember your name, but then you have the opportunity to ask their names one more time. And
Yep.
that it's when you say it at the end, it helps stick. Cause I don't do well with like the, pinpointing something about them to remember, but if I say it at the end, it sticks. So that's just another.
Yeah, anything like that. There's all kinds of YouTube tips and tricks when it comes to that, but I use notepads everywhere, especially during open houses. I'll have my certain area where I've got my cheat sheet going. When I do meet them, I'll just give a quick update on the property, like, hey, Jimmy, not sure if you saw it online. HVAC was replaced 3 months ago. Roof was done, the highlights, they just redid the kitchen 1.5 years ago, things like that. Real quick, out of their way. And then I'm kind of like, hey, stay out of your guys' way, holler if you need me. That's how I say it. But the music's on, the vibe's good, so then literally get out of their way. I don't need to be hovering. I'm not desperate. I look at sales and houses very similar to dating. If I was wanting to date, I'm not going to come across all. If I wanted to ask Michelle out, I'm going to be real cool. Hey, I think you're beautiful. Look at, she's blushing already. Give her a car. Like, I'd love to take you out. That's kind of how real estate is. I'm not going to be overly hounding on anybody, trying to sell them. It's very difficult to sell somebody on an $800,000 house. They got to be in love with it. So I think the cooler you play it, kind of the better. Okay, go ahead. What was it? Anytime you try to get feed, these are stats that I pulled from chat, GPT. Asking for input. My clients are real big on that. I'm not sure if I put it on another slide, but if you do an open house for me, I think it's on here. Please provide me feedback. Otherwise I gotta hound you and ask for it because everybody wants it. And if anybody has any other thoughts or ideas as I'm speaking, please raise your hand. Go ahead, Jose. Utilize their names, ask for feedback. I already said that. Be cool. Don't come across as desperate. Ask for the business. This is where I think 99% of all agents drop the ball. Before Joey leaves my open house, I'm gonna ask what he thought. I'm gonna tell him that my wife and I are part of a huge team. I'm gonna tell him we have over 100 off-market properties, that we sell one every other week that never hits the market. And I'm gonna ask for his business. I'm gonna tell him that I would love the opportunity to earn his business. Most agents don't. You guys are on your phone, you're watching football, and you go, Bob, later. Oh, thanks for coming in. How do they know? They might think you're too busy. I've had people not use me because they thought I was too busy.
Yeah.
Oh, Aaron, you're too busy. We called so-and-so. What? People I've known forever. So ask for the business. That's the cardinal sin of open houses. Real estate agents do not ask for the business. And most of the time, the reason they don't ask for the business is because they're distracted. They're watching football or doing whatever else. And I always tell myself this, or I've heard this analogy before. How many in here right now have a hard time getting a listing? If you had to get $1 million listing within the next 7 days, who here thinks they could do it?
Yeah.
Okay, some. What if someone told you had to get $1 million listing within the next week, or your kid's gonna die? Or your dad's going to die? Like, that's the intent. That's how I operate.
Good or bad?
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
How many do you have?
Which kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the intensity that I operate with, so,
Kids have to eat, so.
yeah, so I'm very intentional and purposeful, and I study the business a lot. That's the other thing too. If you're a newer agent and you don't understand what you're talking about, I'll tell you what, your back will be sweating when you're sitting at a kitchen table with some older people that don't do computers and you're having to explain everything. So real estate's one of those things you got to study. You got to know what you're talking about. And I do 1 to 3 hours every day, 7 days a week. I don't miss. I'm at the gym, I'm studying, I'm in my car, I'm listening. I'm always studying and reading, trying to get better. I have masterminds with business professionals probably 3 times a week. And it helps keep making me an expert at what I do. So if I'm going in a listing presentation, I remember one time vividly, I lost when I was a brand new agent, and I pull up on this rural property in Loomis, so it's probably gonna be about $1 million. And they said, okay, you can come by between this time, we're interviewing agents. And I pulled up, you know who I saw coming out? And I was like, why the heck am I here? I'm like, oh, this sucks. Like, why am I even bothered? Tom Davis comes walking out. You know what I mean? Like a polished pro, 30 years in the game. I don't know who ended up getting it, but that's really when I started digging deep on studying and becoming an expert on not only how I speak. I really try not to use filler words like like things like that people pick up on subconsciously. So I've tried to train myself out of that and become as knowledgeable as possible in this field. If someone doesn't use me, no matter what, I'm offering myself. Hey, even if you guys don't use me, even if you buy anywhere local, David, here's my card. I've been in this area so long. I've owned multiple businesses. I am connected on everything. I have vetted everyone. Use me as a resource. That's real hard not to say. Does anybody notice the one thing I haven't done during any of the conversations I've had with clients as they come in?
Ask them about the house.
About that.
Ask them if they're working with a realtor.
I'll never ask that.
Yeah,
Ever.
exactly.
Don't ever ask that.
Exactly.
I always,
I know a way to ask it though. Can you hear it?
yeah.
So when you tell them about the property, you say, have you seen the disclosures or do you have an agent? And then okay, you don't, because if you had an agent that would have sent you the disclosures, right here's a scan code if you want to see the home inspection, pest inspection. It's kind of the way I throw it out there.
But I don't ask if they have an agent because the whole time, once they tell you that, you can no longer try to solicit them as a client.
Correct.
So I just lead with such value and asking for the business and showing them opportunities that at some point they're like, man, this guy didn't, our agent doesn't have 100 off-market properties, which we really do. Our agent hasn't offered this. Matter of fact, has our agent done a deal? One of those type of things. So I think between my marketing stuff that I have for them to look at, how I can speak while they're at the open house, the conversion rate's very high when we do it. Albert?
So
Yeah.
one of the things that Aaron does really well, I've talked before, is he is a master of resources. Like, you're not just a realtor. I'm not a realtor, a realtor. You're a resource. He's got a painter, he's got a gardener, he's got someone that can fix your pool. He's got everything in his toolbox. And what he does a really great job of is, regardless of what the client says, their needs, he handles their needs. I remember one time we were doing an open house and his client, we didn't know him. Remember that tall guy, that Mexican couple, tall dude, and there's this family came in and they're like, yeah, we need RV access. He goes, you can use my house. Like, I literally have like 10 acres, bring whatever you have over here in the meantime. There was no asking about agents or what. He's like, you just kind of provided resources. Other times, he's had contract. He goes, yeah, I'm like, boy, Guillermo, and you guys keep putting concrete in my house right now. I'll hook you up. It's always about value. It has nothing to do with getting their business. And he is the master.
Yeah, that's what I have right here. Genuinely help everyone. You'll be surprised with the blessings you receive.
Yeah.
The more I help people, the more money I make. And it's not all about the money, but it's just like God's way of blessing me, I think, and my business and what I'm doing. Go ahead. Was it? Active listening. I'm very intentional with whatever they're telling me and truly listening, which my wife probably wouldn't believe this part, but while I'm working, I do. Point out features they might miss. It's real easy for someone, especially if it's daytime, to not notice, the toe kick lighting in the brand new remodeled kitchen, the undermount lights. Oh yeah, all those cabinets light up. It's too bright, but make it a point to really highlight and point out anything like that. Or if cabinets are, and you should know the difference between recessed cabinetry and, standard cabinetry, things like that add a lot and create a ton of value. Give space, kind of talked about that earlier. I'm never gonna hover, never want to be desperate, give them space. Hey, I don't know. I'm probably too nonchalant according to a lot of people. You guys have all heard this. They'll forget what you said, but they'll remember how you made them feel. Your approachability can be your greatest selling point. So that's kind of how I go into all of it. Go ahead, Jose. Before they leave, I reiterate my desire to help and offer to be available for private showings, off market, CMAs, whatever they need, build a genuine connection. One of the things I also don't do, which you may or may not have noticed, I don't have a sign-in sheet. I'm just so kind of, I keep wanting to say cool with how I do it. Not that I'm cool, but like the way it's just very non-invasive to where I want them leaving. Like, I could see myself grabbing a beer with that dude. He was cool. He was friendly. He wasn't like a sales guy, you know? So I just give him my card. Brent, text me whatever you need, man. I got hookups on everything. That's kind of how it is, right? It's almost like too nonchalant maybe, but it tends to work. Provide unexpected value. I'll do whatever they need if they want to, any info on their property. When they do text me and give me their info, which happens all the time. Hey, met you at the open house. Or sometimes because I do so many open houses, this has happened where people came in and I start recognizing them, right? Because I'm doing them all the time. And then I'm literally like opening the door. We meet again. And they're like, yeah, as we were walking out, we're in Rachel and Stephen Gonzalez said, yeah, my husband said, hey, Aaron's at all the, these are Aaron's signs. Aaron's at the open houses. Why are we using our agent? She hasn't done anything. And they keep coming to my things. That day I got them as a client, had them in escrow 3 weeks later and sold their condo, which is around the
We
corner.
literally did a open house at 11 to 1, and the next open house, this client showed up and he's like, I'm here.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Yeah. So that's the other benefit about continuously being out there. It shows that you're doing it. And if you take my advice, I'm telling you, I've told 100 different agents over the years, maybe hundreds, to take my stuff and make it look like it's your own and post it. Maybe 2 or 3 have ever done it. So easy. Take the photos off the MLS. Oh my gosh, Barry, you got another listing in Serrano? You answer that accordingly, but or use the power of we. That's what I always tell my people. EXP is really good about the power of we and how beneficial it is for all of us to kind of work together. So yeah, we've been busy. Yeah, we just closed this. We just did that. That's how you do it without being a liar.
Talk about your off-market script.
So because we do have the big off-market list, before I leave, I'll say something along the lines of, John, hey, I know I mentioned earlier, we have about 100 off-market properties. What do you think of this house? Or I'll say, what do you think of this house before I bring that up? Oh, you know what? The backyard looked bigger in the photos. Well, remember I told you about our off-market list? And I'm like, dude, check this out. And I pull it up and I scroll to the side where you can't see the actual addresses, but you can see the cities and the price points and like the sizes. And I scroll to show that. I'm like, everything in white is off market. And believe me, I'm going like this. Green is active, orange or yellow is pending. He's like, holy shit, you weren't kidding. Yeah, dude, we sell one every other week. Never hits market. Text me your info. I say, John, and I do this too. John, I say this to people all the time. They don't text me their info. I said, I can't reach out to you. I'm not going to bug you, not going to market you incessantly, but I will reach out when the property that fits your needs hits the market. Here's the other thing I say. I don't know anyone saying this yet. August 17th, all the rules changed regarding commission, right? We're all familiar with that. Most clients aren't, or they know just enough. So what I'll say is, Janelle, are you familiar with the changes that happened with the Department of Real Estate on August 17th in regards to commissions when you're working with a buyer's agent? Yeah, I kind of heard something about that. Like we have to pay now. Well, yeah, technically any agent you're working with, they have to, before they even show you home, give you a piece of paper where you're agreeing to pay them 2.5% to 3%. Unlike them, the paper I'm going to give you is going to say that it's going to check a box that says 0. If I don't get paid from the listing agent, I will represent you for free.
That's really good, actually.
And I'm willing to do it. And it hasn't happened yet. I've gotten paid on every deal. So think out of the box. I'm at home sometimes in my office, which I painted. It was completely black. Everything's black. Set up pretty cool. Native American flute music on. Got my candles lit. And I'm just in there writing notes on my thing or on my whiteboard. My wife comes in like, what are you doing? My wife and I have been together 30 something years, married 26. What are you doing? I'm like, strategizing. Business is war. I'm advancing. I'm crawling through the mud under the barbed wire while my enemies aren't. I'm advancing. So think out of the box, and I came up with a deal about that commission thing, and that's been just like knocking down dominoes, so easy. Oh, you'll do it and I don't have to pay you? Yep. So. But. If hosting another agent's open house, please be on time. Very. You can never leave early. Open houses, if I tell my wife and my buddies, hey, open house ends at 1, but I'll be out of there probably around 1:30. You never want to leave early, or 2, hopefully 4. That means it's busy, you know?
Everything else, but it seems to be the people that are the actual, like, it might be a customer or a client, future client,
Show up at
they
the end.
always come at the end.
Yeah.
You know
So,
it, you
and
set it
it's
up.
like, or right when you're closing the door, and it always seems like if I have someone that turns out to be, you know, of interest, it's always that person.
100%.
Yeah.
If it starts at 1:03, you are super late.
Yep. Oh,
Yeah, you can't be late.
Up about that.
Guys,
I
even,
had people standing there when I got there early.
No, it's the sellers that are mad that you're not
Watching
there.
you.
especially with the ring cameras or they're down the street, yeah. So,
Bring yourself some extra photos, it's all right there.
yeah, and our reputation.
Yeah.
So if I'm trusting David with my baby, I hope he hasn't been drinking. You know, I hope he's gonna take care of my baby. That's a $800,000, some of the ones I'm doing now, $2 million baby, you know? Be aware of whose homes you're hosting. Any reason, we're all EXP, right?
Yep.
Okay. Any reason why I would put something like that on there? Cameras. Well, just assume cameras are everywhere. That should be a given at this stage of the game. Be aware of whose house you're hosting, because there's some agents that continuously will only pay 1% or no percent. So if you've got an opportunity to do 3, 4, 5 of my houses, where for the most part, everyone gets paid, or the one for the agent that always only pays out 1%, it's kind of a no-brainer which ones to do. So it's not hard to find out. Words out on a lot of that, so I don't know. Provide feedback to agent after the open house, like we mentioned earlier.
You mean they, when you write the offers, they're continuously countering back just 1%?
1% or no percent. Prime example, one of the gals on my team got a text message from a gentleman that she knows. And he's saying, hey, I went with this other agent because she charged 1%. But I just want to let you know, if you bring a buyer, I'll pay you 1%. Otherwise, we're not paying any buyers. So there's a property out there right now for 1.75 million, and they're not paying any commissions. So, you know,
You don't know until you write the offer.
you don't know till you write the offer. And then a pro move too. I just had this happen the other day. If you're an agent writing offers, one of your questions should not be, are you offering compensation to a buyer's agent?
Yeah.
Don't ask that. Pros don't ask that shit. We just write the offer and you get it handled.
Can I just also add that if you are the listing agent and the buyer's agent is asking for 3 or whatever they're asking, why would you ever counter? I've had listing agents counter me. They're like, well, what? Because you're gonna get paid more than I am. I said, well, that's your
Yeah.
dumbass not negotiating well. But, and you also have the ability to go back and talk to your client and counter the commission. I've done it on almost everyone lately and won. I went to my client, I said, hey, you know, it's up to you guys, but this is what they've countered back at, and this is what I normally charge. I'm not gonna charge you the difference, but it's up to you if you feel like my value has been, and they said counter all day.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can counter the commission. It's no different than if you're countering a closing cost credit. You need to give the lender 3% of the sales price, and they come back and say, well, we're only gonna give you 10,000 or something. I had an agent come back and say, I'm only gonna pay you $8,420 on an $800,000 property, and I said, why would you do that? He said, well, that's what I'm charging. I said, well, that's not what I'm charging. So either we need to, you can do it right now in this market, you guys, is my point.
Yeah.
You're worth more, and learn how to negotiate what you're worth. Whatever that amount is, well, obviously we don't say exactly what it is, but whatever it is, it is. No different than if I was asking a seller to pay for closing costs.
Yeah.
You-
We did a flip last year in El Dorado Hills, 2.6 million. We were willing to pay 4%.
Yeah.
I don't give I don't care how much, I want to pay you $100,000, whatever it is. If I'm making my spread, I don't care. So I always ask my clients, on a side note, if you guys do run into those issues, Albert, what's more important to you? Is it more important to you to get 800 grand or above, or me making an extra 5 grand? Oh, I don't care what you make, as long as I get X, usually is how they respond. Like, okay, then let me handle it. And then, by the way, if you go on listing appointments and you start getting those reps under your belt, you can print out your listing percentage compared to what it's sold for. And usually mine is, some clients screw it up, then a listing, but over 100%. So it's like, look, Marguerite, my list to sold ratio is over 100%, 108% of value.
I mean, list price to sold price?
Yeah. If you're an agent holding other open houses, the more reliable you are, the more opportunities you get. 100%. Because when someone's flaky or unreliable, I'm like, Brent, FYI, don't use Kyle. One of the guys on my team, Jason, who just moved to Texas, but he had tracked it, and one open house on Sibley Street in Folsom turned into 7 deals. 1 2-hour open house. So that's what happens. My wife trips out on me sometimes because I come home. I just did one in Somerset recently, and I come home, I'm in a good mood. And before I leave, I'm always like, they don't call me double N daddy for nothing as I'm going out the door, right? She's like, you say that every time. Well, sometimes it works. Well, I come home and I'm in a good mood. She's like, how'd it go? Was it busy? I go, no, nobody came. Well, why are you in such a good mood? Because the fact that I did it, and I'm going to do it next week, and I'm going to do it next week. And the more you do it, God starts blessing. Yeah. Like, hey, you're staying the course. Boom. So I just keep doing it. Can't catch a fish unless you're fishing.
Come on.
Open houses, if you want to build business, you want to make money, open houses are where it's at. It breaks my heart how many people I see in our industry where there is no ceiling to how much money we can make, and they'll give up their dreams for $23 an hour. Don't be one of them. Yeah. Jose, is there no? That's it. That's it. Okay, so that's pretty much, that's all I got. Any questions? Yeah.
Aaron, how long do you typically hold your open houses? Like, what's your success?
I'm glad you asked that. I should have put it up there.
Yeah.
I always do 2 hours.
Oh, that's it?
I always do 2 hours, but usually I'm doing multiple.
For a day?
Yeah.
Oh, multiple.
Yeah,
Explain
so
that.
the reason I only do 2 hours is, just like Janelle said, everybody shows up at the end. We've all been showing clients houses, and you're like, okay, vacant early or whatever. Oh, that one's doing an open house till 5. We'll hit that one last. It becomes on everybody's back burner. So to me, the sweet spot is 2 hours. And I feel like 11 to 1 out of those 2 hours are the best for me.
Explain the multiples though. You're moving from one open to another open?
Yeah. So like I'll do 11 to 1 and then 2 to 4.
I've experienced proximity. Like when we do these open houses, like multiple, seriously, the same clients are coming in the neighborhood that they brought. It's amazing.
Yeah.
What happens when
Tom?
you see your sign.
So if you're doing 11 to 1 to 2 to 4, then for the second open house, you have to move all your signs.
Yeah.
Get all sweaty again. Okay,
That's why he hates it.
But then.
Yeah.
Sounds
Why you
perfect.
paid a kid?
But then, so you get as much opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 hours of open house.
plus
puts
it's-
you in an 8-hour day.
Yeah, plus it's double the signs and everything. Yeah.
I'll work 8 hours, 10 hours. I don't
So
care.
I'll give you
But
that.
if I'm at one open house, you're saying that you'll get more opportunity by having it split up into 2 rather than just staying at 1.
Yeah.
I'll give you that, your signs, right? So I live in Folsom. And what happens is, it's a little area, right? So it's different than Rockland and I understand that. But the power of having one open house and then 2 miles, 3 miles down the street, and you see signs, like I'm telling you as a consumer, like I've experienced it, like, dude, that dude's got signs everywhere. It's something about the industry, it's about consumer. You have one, like, it's like 5-hour open houses, I think are a waste of time. Like, if you can do 3 open houses in one day, in 6 hours, that's way better than doing once about it.
Oh, you do? Okay.
So, Aaron, and then to Tom's point, so if you're doing multiple open houses, because I do open houses all the weekend, and I have done sometimes where I do more than one in a day. And I was kind of experimenting with that, but I did one time, and I set up so that my signs, like half my signs were directly in the same direction. So I only had.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
This is your same proximity, that same area.
That's clever.
So
Yeah.
that was.
If you got open house side, open house that doesn't do that.
Exactly. It doesn't happen all.
Okay, one more question, then Brent has to talk.
What, would you mind just a little like script for what you use to capture someone's information and then how you follow up with them afterwards? Do you send a text right away? Do you call them the next day? Like, what do you do there?
Yeah. Do you guys have time like if Brent talks and we just kind of roundtable discussion it after Brent's done?
Yeah.
For whoever wants to stick
Let's
around,
do
we'll
that.
do
If
that.
you wanna stick around, he can.
Because I know
stick
he's
around
super tight on
for
time.
2 or 3 hours. Yeah, I have 5 hours. I have 5 minutes. Can I go?
Absolutely, yeah.
Good job. buddy. All right. Put that on. How's everyone doing? So he's like that. His personality you saw, he's just like that at an open house. He's not all happy, and then he's just kind of matter of fact. But he is happy. I came out wrong, but he's not like me, salesy. I'm salesy, and I know that, and I'm okay with that. But here's the deal. He does say, "Let my painter help you. Let my guy put in your contract. Get the best landscape paint guy. I have to introduce you to X." When you come from that, the world just opens up like a flower. You with me? That was so good. I love what Aaron said. The French word "we." It helps you. For those of you that are new, my partners and I, we're killing it. We're doing this. One of my agents just did an open house. We put 7 homes in escrow from that. Of course, you won't share that with the consumer base, but when you're talking to other agents, by the way, this is a great place to bring your friends from Remax and Keller Williams and Century 21 and Compass and Suburbs. Bring them here on Thursdays. This is it. Everyone's invited to bring people. We can spread out that way. We have stuff there. This is how I built my company from just me to 45 agents on my team to 100 to thousands right here. Bring people here. All are welcome. We will train them. They can go back and apply their open houses at Century 21, at Remax, wherever they are. And we want to help them. They don't have to come here. Because why? They're human souls. Are you with me?
Yeah.
They got kids, they got families, they got 4th of July, they have mortgages to pay. We want to help people at every company. Is that cool?
Absolutely.
We don't just want to help them because they're coming to EXP. We want to help them because that's who we are. That's our DNA. You with me?
Yeah.
And when you operate like that, people pick up on that vibe and they're like, I like these guys. I like the energy. Is it good? Real quick, I said a few things I want to teach on. I've seen some terrible things lately. Photos. If you get a listing and you put up 100 photos, 80 photos, there's the toilet, there's the washer and dryer, there's this, there's that, there's the side yard, and there's crap all down the side. Stop.
Yeah.
Would a builder ever do that? No. Would a marketing firm do that? No. What do we do? Well, they got to see the bedroom and there's toys and crap everywhere. Don't do that. Think in terms of 10 to 15 pictures max per listing, maybe 20. Every picture should make you want to run down the street, go see the house. If you don't look at that picture and go, I want maybe 2 or 3 shots of the kitchen, not 9. And pictures from upstairs shooting down. Sometimes it's so dizzy and looking down. If the pictures go, wow, don't use it. And I've said on the pictures, this will serve you well. Next is staging. The home is vacant. You must stage, period. I tell people like, hey, if you were my brother, if you were my folks, I would make you stage this house.
That's cool.
Period. Now you're not, so I can't make you, but I wish I could. Because not staging this house will probably cost you $30,000, $40,000. Staging costs you $3,000 or $4,000. Do you want to spend $30,000 or $40,000 or $3,000 or $4,000? It's up to you. And my stager will bill escrow. Is your stager bill escrow? You know why your stager isn't bill escrow? Because you haven't stepped up. You haven't called 40 stagers to find the one who wants the business who will bill escrow. Your agent wants to charge him $4,000 at the gate. He doesn't want to spend $4,000 at the date. Did you call 30? See, you are an amateur. You are not a pro. You find the painter who will do the job and bill escrow. You find the gardener who will do the job and bill escrow. Like, well, I don't have anyone. We'll call 100 people. Freaking get scrappy, get creative. What did Aaron just say? You know why you suffer? Because you're not desperate enough. You're hungry enough to be hungry, but you're not desperate. What am I desperate for? More deals? No, to make a difference. I want to break through to you. Well, I tried. Well, that isn't good enough. Well, if you can't, you absolutely must. You know what the seller's number one frustration is? Do you know you get a listing? You know what the number without the pros here? You want to take a guess?
Communication.
You're a pro. I said without the pros answering. He had the 2 pros in the room. You just gave it all away. I want them to work a little bit. You're forbidden. No, it's communication. They don't hear from you. And here's what you say. Well, I don't know what to tell them. I haven't heard from anybody. Yes, you do. You go to MLS, look at how many, do they still do agent hits and client hits? It's been a while.
And Zula.
So I just added up and I said, we've had 49 agent hits and or whatever the number is, 872 clients. Well, what's the difference? Who cares? I just add them up, whatever it says, 49 agent hits and 100 client hits. I go, we have about 149 people click on this and look at it. And the pictures, look at these 10, 15, they're gorgeous and they agree. Here they are. Please tell me which pictures you don't want, I'll remove them. Which one you feel I'm missing, we'll add them. And so it's on them. They don't like the pictures, you let them choose. I choose, but then I say, please audit what I've chosen to show. And then they go, well, you don't show every bedroom. I go, yeah, because the bedrooms look terrible. You didn't show the hallway half bath because it's a toilet. Does it make me, you're the pro. You don't listen to the seller. They give input, you tell them why that's a bad idea, or wow, you're right, we need to add that. Okay. But here's the deal. If they've chosen the pictures, they can't complain about the picture. I go, look, I've done my job. Our pictures are lights out, incredible. We've had over 149 people look, and I'm really concerned nobody's coming. You put it back on them. You put the monkey on them, like, why aren't people coming? I don't know. I'm really concerned. 149. You know why they're not coming? It concerned me. I pulled it up and 9 homes just went pending all around your house. I go, yeah, I just sent them to you. Come down to the office. I want to show them to you. Bigger, pool, view, 3-car garage. You have a 2. This came on the market 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, weeks ago. Homes are selling like crazy. Yours isn't. You know why? The market's very fluid and prices have dropped. And we could chase this market down or we can make an adjustment. Never lower the price. Adjustment. And by the way, you do not have a downline. Please. Lose the word downline. You have an organization. Please don't use the word downline. You don't have it's not a network marketing company. We don't sell products, goods, and services. I'm pro network marketing. Don't have a problem with it all. It's wonderful, but we're not. We are a real estate company. We do luxury, commercial, residential, and land and ranch. That's what we do. Real quick, agent visual inspections. When you do one, it's just that. It's an agent visual inspection. Don't say something needs to be repaired. This needs to be painted. The lawn is dead, needs watering, where the soil's bad. There's a lawsuit recently on that. It was $200,000 to rip out all the soil, truck in new soil, and replant. But the agent put, the lawn is dead, it needs watering. So the buyer bought the home and said, the agent told me it just needed water. That was not the case. Is that a visual inspection? It needs water. Did you not do a remedy? Agent visual inspection. Don't say there's nothing wrong with this room. Now you've made a conclusion. I bought the house because they said there's nothing wrong with the room, except there's an $18,000 beam that's bad. And I would have looked harder if the agent hadn't said there's nothing. Don't say what you think. State what you see. It's an agent visual inspection. Nothing needs to be repaired. Nothing needs to be replaced. Don't guess. There appears to be a green belt in the backyard. No, that's a feature Sam's Club parking lot.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it there. It's pretty funny. Finally, as we wrap it up, is Aaron still here? Aaron, come here. He did such a great job. Remember, he said a lot of people want to make 50,000 a year. He's trying to figure out how to make 50,000 this week.
Yeah.
Life will give you what you expect of it, and what you focus on expands. Some of you think there's so little. You got to think different. Hang around people, think different. How much? I'm gonna just do it. How much do you have in escrow roughly, like commission coming in the pipeline, like in the hopper roughly? 50,000
In escrow right now,
100,
just over 50 probably.
Over
But
50,000.
close 3 last week.
Close 3 last week, and how much was that roughly? Come on, rough.
60.
60. So 60,000 last week. He's got about a 50,000 in the hopper now. And are you having one of your best years ever?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's good.
Absolutely.
The more I set the goal higher, the better it works. And a little perspective too, in 2012, I was in foreclosure at maybe $2,000 in the bank. It started the journey of self-education and figuring out.
And being authentic, right? He's not hiding his tattoos. He's not hiding who he is. And I love that about him. He's absolutely incredible. So good job. Give him a hand. He's normal. I'm done. I'm over. I gotta say this. You gotta go pro. If you treat this like a hobby, it will actually cost you money and it'll rob you of your goals and dreams. You gotta go pro. You gotta go for this like you getting a master's or a PhD in real estate. If you do it hard, it's easy. If you do it easy, it's really hard. And so look at him. I'm crawling under the barbed wire. I'm in war. What are you doing? I got my candles lit. I'm doing. How can I do it better, smarter, different? Go around, under, over. How can I solve my problem? I can't think. Aaron, what do you think? Blah, blah. Ah, Brent, what do you think? Ah, Johnny, what do you think? Ah, you don't ask it. Well, I don't want to bother John. I don't want to bother. We want to be bothered. The only thing that bothers me and bothers them is when you don't bother us. And by the way, you're never bothering us. What you do is you suffer in silence, and it's not okay. If you're depressed, tell someone. If you're suicidal, tell someone. If you're having thoughts, don't suffer in silence. You're not a bother. You're valuable. You're incredible. Your marriage counts for something. Your emotional, your physical, your spiritual health is important. Finally, let me ask you a question. How much do you deserve to be paid? Based upon your prospecting efforts over the past 6 months. We just finished 6 months. How much do you deserve to be paid? And in your heart of hearts, answer that question. So here's the deal. Some of you know the answer. Not much, because you've been in your head. Tony Robbins says if you're in your head, you're dead. You got to put feet to your prayers and your dreams and your goals. You got to get out there. Well, I'm not very good. That's how you become good. You're not good at fishing? Do it every day for 30 days. You'll be a great fisherman in 30 days. Not good at golf? Go golfing with me every day for the next 30 days. You'll be a complete different. Surf every day for 30 days. And then 30 days later, surf every day. And you do a little bit. It's incremental, not a monumental. It's the daily things done over and over. But it gets down to how bad do you want it? Are you're getting right now, and I'll end with this, and it's gonna bug you, and I hope it does, is you can do something about it. Right now, you're getting paid in life exactly what you deserve to be paid based upon the value you are bringing the marketplace. Is Aaron Ralls bringing value?
Yeah.
Yes. How much value you bring, how much are you helping? How much are you giving? How much are you sowing? And when you start giving without worrying about what comes back, of course you want commissions, of course you want listings and buyers. But when you start really giving and pouring out to people, and you're okay if they stay at Century 21, you want the listing, if they go with someone else, you can be excited about it. Say, I'll work hard to bring a buyer. So like, well, why'd you list with Coldwell Banker? That's victim. Why'd you list with another EXP agent over me? Victim. Like, hey, why'd you listen? I would love to know. I'm so excited you chose so-and-so, but this is how I make a living. What did they do? Oh, you did nothing. No, seriously, seriously, what did they do? What made you choose them over me? Well, if you want to know the truth, now you can be defensive. Well, I wasn't late. I had this, or just take it and go, oh, wow, that's great. And they go, okay, how can I do better? And I copied Steve Hillier once. He beat me on a listing. I didn't know I was up against him. And they told me what he did different. I did what he did different. I got the next 10 listings in a row. Because I'm not a victim, I'm victorious. I'm coachable, I'm teachable. Are you? And so here's the good news. You're not a tree, you're not a rock, you're not stuck, you're capable of change. You can have things different in your life, but you gotta want it. You gotta read the books. When opportunities comes, it is too late to prepare. I'll say it again. When opportunity comes, write it down. It is too late to prepare. You prepare now. When your next listing opportunity comes, you'll get it. And I'm preaching to the choir. You guys are here. A lot of people could be here Thursdays 10 to 11. Bring guests here from other brokerages. They will sign up for EXP. You'll get a stock award. They'll sell homes. Manu just told me, he goes, oh my gosh, I invited someone. They joined, and out of the blue, I get this check for $1,300. I'm like, what is this for? Like, oh, that's revenue share. She goes, oh, yeah, that's revenue share. I like revenue share. And she says, hey, can we do more of this? I go, but no one's stopping you. We're the ones stopping us. It's not Aaron Ralls. It's not Johnny. We want to help you. Show up. Keep coming on Thursdays. And I'll end with this. When is our big meeting with Colton Lynn?
July 17th.
That's that a week, 2 weeks from today?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
2 weeks from today, 10 to noon. Class, don't show property. Don't go on a listing appointment. It's you're booked. You're not available. 10 to noon. He sold over 350 properties in the past 12 months. He's a 1/10 of 1%er. He's, I don't know, 35 years old. He's killing it. He's going to pour his guts out. Phenomenal trainer at Placer County Board of Realtors. And I believe he's also going to be on the 50 corridor
Correct.
too.
Yep.
It's going to be on the 50 corridor, I think, on Friday.
Behind you, Brent.
2 weeks from today, right behind me. I have eyes back in my head. There he is. And he's a good looking guy. And there he goes. He's going to just really help you go to the next level with your business. And thanks for having me. I got to get on a Zoom right now. Thanks. All right.
All right. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming. Have a happy 4th. And if you want to ask Aaron Ralls, learn some more questions about scripts, anything about that, he'll be around.